Hello again. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good Christmas. Um, we're going into the new year here, and I came across the video I thought was worth sharing with you, and so you'll see it down below to be able to get into it further yourself, get into more details from the people who are involved. It's a Tom Bilyeu, I think Bilyeu, Bilyeu. He does podcasts, and he's a businessman himself, I believe, and he interviews other businessmen, sort of like he's using them, I guess, as mentors in a way or something. But he interviews well-known, successful people and picks their brain about how different things work in their particular industry or profession, etc. And in this case, he's talking to Michael Saylor. And Michael Saylor, if you haven't heard of Michael Saylor, he's like the number one guy who's shouting from the rooftops and has invested in Bitcoin. There is one other guy. He's in San Salvador, I think, or in his head, not off the top of my head, but one or two who are very vocal and very well known. And he has a company called Micro Strategies. And as I understand it, and you can listen to him talk more about it in the interview yourself, but as I understand it, this is the company that he initially invested in Bitcoin back when it didn't cost all that much. And so he got a position in Bitcoin. And then, of course, that Bitcoin, if you know, not even a decade ago, back, 2012, it was like around 11 cents or something. So I don't know when he bought, but it seems like it was $500, like in 16 or something like that. I was not buying it because I didn't understand it, and I don't jump into things I don't understand, not very much. But anyway, he has been buying it, and he's got a huge position. So he's got maybe billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin at this point, since it's now at hovering at about $100,000 for Bitcoin. So if you bought it at $5, or if you bought it at $500, you have got a big position. But he sells what do you call it? Financial securities. So as I understand it, that means you come to him for a loan, and his loans, or if you were going to the government, you'd buy treasury or whatnot. But the loan that you get from him, or the bond, or whatever it is, the security, that is backed up by the Bitcoin. And so don't you can buy shares in this company if you want to. Not going to go. Don't need to tell you much more about that. But he thinks that Bitcoin is going to go to $13 million per Bitcoin in the next 21 years. So right now it's $100,000 or so, and he thinks it's going to 13 billion, which would be, as he calculates it, about that same as averaging out over the years, making about 30% a year on your investment. So I am not encouraging you to invest in Bitcoin, but it might be good to understand it, and it may help you understand other things as well as you listen to this conversation between him and Bilyeu, if that's the way you say his name. Very interesting conversation. I don't have a lot to add to it because he's the expert, but he's been doing this now for several years, and has a very big position. And I've seen Saylor talk on different podcasts for different people, and at some points he just gets way beyond my capabilities. But in the case of this video that I have down below, actually I'm going to put two videos in, and it appears to me that it's one conversation, and what they've done is in the shorter version, which is I'm going to give to you, the how Bitcoin actually works. That one, it's a shorter version, and he sort of gives you explanation of how, well, okay, if it's equivalent to doing things in dollars, etc., how things work. And so it may be educational, help you to understand exactly what this whole idea about Bitcoin, why it may have any value at all. Now, there's plenty of people who say Bitcoin is worth nothing, that it's just, there's nothing backing it. It's just electronic numbers. But we know that as long as people all agree that something has value, then it has value, which is why our dollar has value today. It's not that it's not worth a dollar as it was in 1913 when they started out with the Fed and the program that we're under now. Uh, it's not worth that at all. It's not worth hardly anything comparatively. But we all agree that it's worth something, so we continue to use it and transact in it. And just as the people in the early, in colonial days in New England, I believe they used, there was a period when they used wooden nickels as currency, and that worked for a while until finally people said, yeah, that's just a piece of wood. So if you don't think it's worth anything, it's not worth anything, which is why when you get into, if things get bad enough, whatever you have, it won't matter what money you have. It won't be worth anything. It won't matter. It won't matter if you have a gold nugget. People can't eat a gold nugget. So, you know, it all depends on how people value it. So, without saying too much more, I'm going to cut this and just encourage you to take a look at that video and see what you learned from it. Happy New Year.